Well, hello everyone, this is Bob Martin, the RCSubGuy with the Nautilus Dry Docks, and I am super excited to present to you the A-10 Sub Killer. So this RC submarine began life, believe it or not, as a bright yellow stock Thundertiger Neptune. When I got it off of eBay, the idea was that there were a lot of upgrade parts in there and it just needed to be assembled again. But as I found out, things are never that easy. So there was a substantial rebuild that was put in place for this boat, including brand new brushless power, brand new 40 amp electronic speed controller, complete removal of the old dive system, installation of a remote on-off switch. It also has a brand new gear pump and solenoid valve that fills and empties this tank in about 6-7 seconds, which is about 1/10 of what it took with the old peristaltic pump. And then the last thing we did was scrap the old 40 megahertz system in favor of a brand new 900 megahertz radio system. So this is about as upgraded as you can get, and again, also a lot of upgrades mimicking the A-10 Warthog. So what we ended up with at the end of the day was a completely new boat, except for servos and the actual watertight cylinder. And it is about as unique a submarine as you will ever find in your entire life. We did have a chance to get it out into the pool the other day, and it was an absolute blast. My good buddy Ed Tortle came out, and we were kind of flabbergasted at how awesome it was. I'm going to share a little bit of footage of that with you, and you can hear our comments in the background talking about it.
Look at that, that is awesome.
So this is actually in surface trim. It wants to pull itself down under speed. Which may be interesting. Okay, well, let's dive. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's see what that does for us. Well, those nacelles don't hurt the turning radius, that's for sure.
No. Nor the speed either. That's a good speed.
Well, this is a third throttle.
That's a third? Okay.
There we go. That's full throttle right there.
Oh, look at that. Eddie Likey. Oh, yeah.
That's pretty darn cool. And this is like no pitch inputs from me whatsoever. Look at that.
And we're running on 900 megahertz.
900 megahertz, yeah.
Okay. You're a good 2-3 feet, 4 feet, I'd say. 3 feet. That's fine.
I'm only running on 100 milliwatts.
Okay. Go out towards the cave and come back at the camera.
I mean, if you were to do this build up right, it'd be super cool to have some, like, orange LEDs in the gun.
Yeah, what? Yeah, well, that blink to simulate firing. Yeah. But also, how about, I don't think the A-10s didn't have afterburners. I don't know. I'm not a plane guy. But you could do they do LED afterburners.
Right, yeah.
That is pretty awesome. I'm not a big fan of the Neptune, but this makes me a fan of the Neptune. Look at that. Now again, the modifications are...
It turns around in basically its own body length under the water.
So we are not running on the SLA, right? The seal lead acid.
No, this is a nickel metal hydride.
So you got a higher power density in there. Right?
Yeah, double what it was.
You can rock and roll all day long.
Well, I'm satisfied. My rule is if I'm satisfied, it comes out of the water before something breaks.
Bob, stop jinxing yourself. This is a wonderful build. It just took time. It was right. You don't know how many hands it had been through.
Right.
So you fixed all those bugs that it came with. Now that's a fine running boat. Let's get the sub-ed seal of approval.
So as you can see, this little sucker is fast, maneuverable, and about as fun as you could ever have with an RC submarine. It's a fairly simple and robust little design, really from a maintenance perspective. You're just going to be checking, obviously, for leaks and that sort of thing every once in a while. Access to the boat, it's pretty easy. Let's take a look. So the cockpit just lifts off. It's held on with some magnets. And then the nose cone just snaps off. It's held on with these little clips. You're going to be getting a stock Thundertiger wrench. These are 10 mil bolts. Now this will obviously work, but I just prefer to use a nut driver. 6 stainless steel nuts. And when you tighten this down for operation, you basically want to tighten it all the way down. This is designed to seat against the bulkhead, so you don't need to worry about over tightening. And when you do tighten it up, you'll see that this black seal will squish against the clear plate, and you'll see a nice thick black line indicating the correct amount of compression against that end cap. There's your exceptionally thick, like 3/8 thick end cap. This boat was grossly over-engineered for what it would actually be used for. So this forward section here is where the old control board used to sit. There used to be a gigantic bulkhead in here that housed switches and that sort of a thing. This has a brand new battery as well. This is upgraded from the old sealed lead acid. And it's a nickel metal hydride battery pack of, I think, 4.4 amps, which is about double what it was before. You can also see this unit here, which is a FrSky current and voltage sensor. And so on your radio, you will actually be able to see real-time voltage for the main battery and for the current draw, which is pretty awesome. Every time you run the boat, you need to make sure you disconnect the power. These red and black wires are the main power. This is the remote switch in the back, this green unit mounted on the bulkhead. It will just trickle power very slowly. So if you leave this plugged in all the time, it will eventually drain your battery. But I mean, it's a very, very small current draw. So you can certainly prep this thing, you know, on the bench at home, plug it in, seal it up, bring it out to the pond, turn it on, and you're ready to rock. Let's take a look at the radio and how that's all set up. So again, this is a FrSky X14 operating on 900 megahertz. This is the 900 megahertz unit in the back there. Remote on-off switches. So power the unit on. It's going to give you a little warning that the throttle is not idle, and then the switch C is not in safe position, so you're going to move that to center, and then everything comes back. So you just want to make sure you don't power it up and the pump starts running, or the pump or the you know, the blades and the prop start spinning. It also has an upgraded prop, by the way. This is a larger 4-bladed propeller in the back. So many upgrades in this thing. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to go ahead and connect this power, and we'll actually watch this thing in real time when we're using the radio. All right, so we're, I didn't push it all the way. We're connected. We're going to turn power on. And you're going to watch here right now. So you can see that the main drive battery is at 12.77 volts, and it's currently drawing no amperages because we're not doing anything. So if I move servos, you can see it gets up to about 300 milliamps. If I power up the motor, up to an amp, 1.3 amps at full throttle in the air. But if we go through the controls here, we got our rudder on the right stick, dive planes are on the right stick, and then our throttle is the left stick, you know, normal. And the pump is again switch C, up brings you up, down brings you down. Super easy. Now this is a gear pump in here, and with a gear pump you don't want to run it dry for anything more than like a second or two. Just do a quick burp, burp to check it on the bench. That's all you want to do. It requires that water flow in order to lubricate the seals. The other cool thing about this submarine is it does have an integrated failsafe. And what'll end up happening if the boat ends up losing signal for whatever reason, it's programmed so that the main throttle will cut, dive planes will go to full rise, and the ballast will blow. So basically, if something happens, it loses signal, it will immediately and on its own bring itself back up to the surface. And that's all completely customizable through the interfaces in the radio itself. And you can see because the power is disconnected, I still have this on, it's showing you red here right now, so it's not receiving data telemetry. But the cool thing is the radio receiver is broadcasting back to the unit, and up in this corner you can see the relative signal strength, and right now is showing 0. So you'll actually be able to, in real time, see how good of a signal you have with your boat. These new radios are awesome. I really, really like them. So basically, what you see here is what you're going to get. Obviously, the boat, the carry handle, which is pretty cool. It just flicks in right here like that, and allows you to pick it up and carry it, launch and retrieve it without getting your hands wet or your feet wet, and your wrench, which allows you to assemble and disassemble everything. And just in case you needed it for when you're taking the dive planes and the linkages apart, that's a 2.5 mil socket, just so you know. So that was all the goodness on it. Let's talk about the not goodness. This was a project primarily that my son took on, and from a cosmetic perspective, it probably could have been slightly better. There's like a little bit of crazing on the paint in the front here. You know, maybe this could have been sanded a bit better. But I mean, from anything more than 2 feet away is absolutely gorgeous. So cosmetic, I'd say it's like a 9 out of 10. The other thing, these stickers, they're sticking fine, but in some places they're peeling a little bit. So you might just want to, you know, get a little thin CA and just wickle it in there to make sure they don't come off. You got to do something on your own boat to make it your own, right? So just a few minutes of time and you can consider that you've worked on it yourself. And one other thing, when we had this out, it was in the water for about 2 hours, actually. Not only from when we were trimming it and testing it, but it actually sat in the pool for about an hour while we left my waterproof camera charge. At the end of the day, it had about a tablespoon of water in the bottom. Normally, I wouldn't think that would be a problem at all, but if you're a perfectionist and you want to address that, that's one thing that you're going to want to figure out. Basically, what you need to do, take your front and back section off. These come apart really easy. It's like 4 screws. Undo your prop and the whole thing comes off. Just dunk it under the water, cycle the ballast, which pressurizes up the watertight cylinder, and then look and see where the bubbles are coming from. Really easy. But like I said, if you're not worried about that, a tablespoon after 2 hours, it's not a big deal. After every run, you got to take that front cover off, disconnect the battery, make sure it's airing out and all that stuff. But in the grand scheme of the day, this thing is 99% done. And whoever gets it, I am going to be exceptionally and ridiculously jealous of for the rest of my life. So there you go. The A-10 Subkiller, brought to you by the Nautilus Dry Dock. So I hope you like this little project. If you do, hey, like and subscribe. I got lots more to share. I've got 4 more Thundertigers that we are going to be upgrading and modifying, each one with its own unique look and feel. If you like them, shoot me an email and maybe we can put your name on one. But this one's up for sale. It's up on my site. Head on over. If you don't see it, it's been sold. With that, this has been Bob Martin, the RC Sub Guy. You have a great rest of your day. We'll catch you next time.